Okay. All right, welcome to the latest edition of Ragic webinar. And we only have two questions for today, so this should be a fairly quick webinar. Okay, first question. Referencing to question 187, and after reading your answer, I still can't get a field formula to update while in the listing page. Okay, this is on our last webinar, we talked about creating formulas on the listing page to update the values on the listing page. If this view allows you to place formula in the design view, why doesn't this work during normal mode? I suppose you're referring to the form page, the form page mode. It is truly annoying to go to the page view to get this updated, especially when you have lots of records. And I've answered the question and he still didn't get it. Am I missing something? So, okay, let me try to do a brief demo and see if I can show how to do this. Okay, let's create a new sheet for this formula demo. Okay, so on the form page, we might have some formulas. Let's say, okay, let's just create a very simple formula. Field 1, field 2, and we have a summary for these two fields. And let's say they are all numeric fields, number fields. Okay, so we can create a very simple formula to say A1 plus A2 equals the summary. So this is the summary of field 1 and field 2. So when you're entering data, you could just enter like 8 and 5. It's going to have a summary here. And the problem that this user is having is that, when you create a new record here, like 1 and 2, it's not going to sum up here because it doesn't have the formula configured on the listing page. So what you should do is create the formula again here. Say A1 plus B1. Okay, and you save it. And here you have a formula on the listing page. This way, when you're editing data on the listing page, it's going to have formulas here. So if you say 12, 13, 23, it's going to have a formula here. So all you need to do is to create a formula on the listing page, specifying the fields here. I'm guessing that maybe you've added the exact same formula like A1 plus A2 to this place, but on the listing page you'll need to write a different formula because the fields are in different places. All right. Yeah, and honestly, yeah, I do think that in the near future we could make some improvements on this because we do know that these two fields have these two field IDs, and if you have a formula here, we should be able to tell that we want to add this field 248 and this field 249 together. So basically, we should be able to automatically generate the formula here. So that's something I will discuss with our team to see how we can do this. But still, formulas on the listing page, there are still quite a few other things that we need to handle to make sure that it works well on the listing page. So we do hope that we can generate this formula automatically so you don't have to do this yourself. Okay, so let's go to the questions. Okay, let's change this so I can fill it out here. Please refer to the webinar recording to see how to configure listing page formulas. Okay, I guess an actual demo would be a lot more, or a lot clearer for explaining this. Okay. All right, next question. Is there a way to check if formulas are consistent on different related sheets? On multiple versions or related sheets, if a field's formula has been updated on one sheet, could the formula also update on other sheets as well automatically? So I don't have to modify the field's formula so many times on different sheets. Yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, right now it does not update automatically. Yeah, because like it's pretty much the same thing as the last question. Theoretically, technically, it could be done because we do know the fields that this formula is referencing. So we should be able to figure out some way to translate the formula to its actual field IDs and update the formula and translate it back to the cell to the cell formats. Um, yeah, I do think this is something that we can do, and I will try to recommend adding this kind of support to our team so that when you change something, you change a formula on the form page, it's gonna add it to the listing page and also update on other multiple versions. Yeah, I do think this makes sense, and actually, this is updating the formula for different versions is actually really similar to updating it for the listing page. So, yeah, we will try to see if we can work on this. Thank you for your suggestion. Automatically updating formula on multiple versions is actually a lot similar to auto updating formula for the listing page. I will certainly discuss this. Can add support for this in near future. Okay. Yeah, I think it is worth bringing up and kind of raise the priority for developing this. It's not super hard, but it will take quite a bit of work. All right, so these are the two questions for the webinar for this week. And thank you for joining in on our webinar. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to use the Ragic question sheet right here to ask your questions. No matter is any like application product suggestions, or if you have some question on how to design sheets for certain scenarios, or if you have some questions on some features, or even questions on how other companies use Ragic for like certain industries, feel free to use the question sheet to ask your questions so we can answer your questions on Ragic office hour webinars. All right, and thank you for joining in, and let's talk in 2 weeks. Thank you. Goodbye.